crime podcaster.
What brings you out here today?
We got a call from a friend of ours that let us know that there was something going on to do with the Asha Degree case today, a search over here at Northbrook School.
Do you know anything about the school, first of all?
I don't know a lot about it. I know it's been kind of like this as long as I can remember.
You live in the area?
I live about 6 miles over in Falston.
And how did your friend know this might have been Bill Asha Degree?
He is a former law enforcement. He is a former detective in down in Gaston County.
So what have you been able to find out since you've been here today?
Not a lot of nothing. We just watched them walking around, seen the dogs out, and a lot of people in orange out searching the woods looking, but as far as getting any details, we haven't got a lot.
And you are a true crimes podcaster. What's your interest in this case overall?
Well, since we live close right here in the area, it's really something, big on our hearts, and we've been kind of involved since day one. The day actually we were working in Shelby at the time, and driving down 18 and actually got stopped in the roadblock when they were first looking for her that morning. So we've pretty much been involved ever since day one. And now we didn't start the podcast till years later, of course, but that's one of our main subjects.
Now, when you hear that this may be Asha Degree related, there's been a couple of things recently Asha Degree related. Does it give you hope, or do you just think, well, here's just another maybe wild goose chase?
Anything is hope. I mean, at least they're out here trying, they're out here looking, they're working the case. They're working the case hard, and they drop a little bit of information here and there, kind of keep everybody involved, let us know what's going on, and then I'm sure they have to go back and go through all that information, and then you see this going on, so they're still working this case hard behind the scenes.
What do you hope comes out of today?
I hope they find something, or either find something, or they're either going to find it or they're not. But I don't know. I would love to see them find something, because I think the Degree family needs some answers. They've been through a lot. It's been 25 years, but to see them out here working on the ground and actually looking for stuff, hopefully they find something.
Now, does the size of the crew or the length of time they're out here mean anything?
Well, I mean, they're involved. There's several vehicles here, a lot of people on the ground. I don't know exactly how long they've been here. We got the call. We came straight over to see what was going on, and working ever since we've been here, probably an hour or so.
You did the only interview with Asha Degree's brother?
Yeah, O'Brien. Yeah, he came on our show, and we talked to him.
All right, so a lot of people are hopeful, but like we said, they could find something today. They might. All that the dents, the forest there, it would be so challenging and try to get through all that. But Nate, you are finding maybe some potential discoveries here in the property?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the property from Google Street View right now. If Ben, I know you're trying to come and look into, and I don't know, Jeb, if you can pull that up.
Yeah.
That's
the side we're looking at in the video, I believe.
The second building.
Yep.
And it looks like at one point maybe the Board of Education owned these buildings, perhaps before the Deadmans. And as you go back, I mean, it's just been mostly untouched over the years. I'm looking at like May 2012. It's just buildings, trees coming out of these buildings, vines growing on it. I see a pile of dirt in one spot. But then over time, it just continues to grow. Look at how overgrown that is right now. And we have our crew out there. I'm sure it looks very much like this right now.
You can see the passage of time over the past 15 years. So, I mean, that shows you this has been, take the investigation out of this, this has been a largely untouched property by anyone. We can make that assumption just by looking at that.
And imagine how challenging that makes it. I mean, you have trees that weren't as tall as they were back then. You have weeds growing up. We haven't seen any dog or anything out there, but I don't know at this point, this far removed, if that even would be a viable option.
That sort of
makes sense to have.
Yeah, if they're going to be able to pick up on any sort of lead that's that specific.
Yeah.
It's interesting hearing from the podcaster, Jane. There's such a renewed interest in America right now when it comes to these cold cases.
Right.
And we've seen them here in North Carolina, down in South Carolina. The Murdaughs, I think about, how, I mean, that was a cottage industry of people who took an interest in that case. And I feel like the Asha Degree case never quite has gotten the attention that some of the others have gotten. So I hope that with some of this renewed attention, it's picked up on that, because, listen, I mean, the police, the FBI, SBI, they're going to lead this investigation. But we've also seen over the years is that some of these podcasters can actually break new ground too.
Absolutely.
You know,
We
with the help
see
of
it time and
journalists.
time again,
Yeah, with the help
sure.
of journalists. And so I think, you know, for the sake of her family, the more eyes it has on this, only the better.
Right.
I think I read a Charlotte Observer article recently that the family suggested because she was a black little girl,
Yeah.
this case did not get the attention it deserved. I was here in Charlotte until 1999. I graduated, went to college, and went off, came back to visit my family from now and then. I don't remember hearing this case
Yeah.
that much. Now, when I came back to Charlotte in 2018, you know, at least here in this building, we're very much invested in this
Yeah.
case. We're very interested.
Right.
But you know, there is some real truth to that, generally speaking, that people of color have not always gotten the coverage they deserve when they're missing. And you wonder, has that delayed this situation? If this family wasn't as so willing to keep
Yeah.
this in the forefront, it's easy to give up. I would
Right.
imagine how
It is.
easy it would be to give up on this
Well-
and say, well, you know, my daughter is gone, and I'm not going to
Right.
let this just prevent me from moving forward. But at the same time, I give him so much respect for
Yeah.
doing
To
everything
keep it
he can
out there.
for her.
And that's where the power in media and the connection to local media and having those connections to keep it out in front and in front of people's minds and hearts. It